We shall now be introduced of module 3 of chapter 4. Module 3 deals with factor spaces, sometimes we call it quotient spaces, and we shall show that the quotient space will be a nonlinear space, and also we shall show that quotient space will be a Banach space. We shall now talk on quotient spaces. Let capital X be a nonlinear space and let capital L be a subspace of X. Let us take X an element of capital X. Let X plus L is equal to collection of all such elements X plus Y, where Y is taken from capital L. These subsets X plus L, as X belongs to capital X, are called cosets of capital L. Put X by L is equal to collection of all such sets X plus L, where X belongs to capital X. One can observe that L is equal to 0 vector plus L, because 0 vector belongs to capital X and X is a nonlinear space. Now, x 1 plus L is equal to x 2 plus L if and only if x 1 minus x 2 belongs to capital L. So, you can see either x 1 plus L intersection x 2 plus L equal to phi, or x 1 plus L is equal to x 2 plus L. That means, either x 1 plus L is equal to x 2 plus L, or x 1 plus L and x 2 plus L are mutually disjoint, and we see that there is a distinct quotient form a partition of capital X. Further, if x 1 comma x 2 comma y 1 comma y 2 belonging to capital X and x 1 minus x 2 belongs to capital L, y 1 minus y 2 belongs to capital L, then x 1 plus y 1 minus x 2 plus y 2 belongs to capital L. And for any scalar alpha, alpha into x 1 minus x 2 belongs to capital L. That means, alpha x 1 minus alpha x 2 belongs to capital L, because L is a linear subspace of capital X. We now define two operations in x by L by the following rule. Number 1, x by L cross x by L to x by L is a mapping, and it is defined by x plus L comma y plus L goes to x plus L plus y plus L, which is equal to x plus y plus L. As x comma y belongs to capital X, x plus y belongs to capital X, because capital X is a nonlinear space. So, x plus y plus L is an element of x by L. And number 2, we can define a mapping R or C cross x by L to x by L, which can be defined by alpha comma x plus L goes to alpha into x plus L is equal to alpha x plus L for all x comma y belongs to capital X and alpha belongs to R or C. As x is a nonlinear space, alpha x belongs to capital X. Thus, what we see, that means number 1, x by L cross x by L to x by L is a mapping which is defined by pairwise elements x plus L comma y plus L goes to x plus L plus y plus L, which is again equals to x plus y plus L. And we can also define a mapping R or C cross x by L to x by L defined by alpha comma x plus L goes to alpha x plus L. So, it is now routine exercise to verify that x by L is a linear space in respect to the above addition and scalar multiplication. That means, sum of the two elements in x by L is again an element of x by L, and product of any element in x by L by a scalar is again an element of x by L. Note that 0 vector of this linear space x by L equals to capital L. Now, let us take a definition. The linear space x by L, where L is a linear subspace of a nonlinear space capital X, is called the quotient space. sometimes we say that the quotient space of X modulo L. Sometimes also we say that the quotient space is called a factor space. So, we now give the geometrical interpretation of the quotient space. Geometrically, describe the quotient space R2 by L, where R2 is equal to the Euclidean 2 space and capital L is the subspace represented by a line through 0, 0 belongs to R2, that is the line passes through the origin. Now, let us take a figure in Euclidean 2-dimensional plane. Now, we have taken x axis and y axis, and L is a straight line passing through the origin. Now, let us take any point x, and the line passes through x and parallel to the straight line L is designated by x plus L. And let us take another point y, and a line is drawn passing through y and parallel to L is also designated as y plus L. Thus, we see that x plus n and y plus L are two straight lines passing through x and y and parallel to capital L. Now, by the parallelogram law, we take the diagonal is x plus y. So, join the line passing through the x plus y and origin, we get x plus y plus L is a straight line passing through the x plus y and parallel to capital L. So, given a subspace capital L as represented by a line through 0, 0 belongs to R2, x is any position of R2, then x plus L geometrically represents a straight line through x parallel to the line represented by capital L. That is to say that x plus L is a translate of L through x. Further, if y is any other position of R2, then by law of parallelogram we obtain the position x plus y, and hence x plus L plus y plus L is equal to x plus y plus L, which is again a straight line passing through x plus y and it is parallel to capital L, and it is the translate of L through x plus y in R2. Similarly, the product of any element x by L of a scalar is represented geometrically by the following figure. In Euclidean plane, we take an x axis and y axis, and L is a straight line passing through the origin O. Let us take a point x, and then x plus L is a straight line passing through x and parallel to L. Similarly, if we take a point 3 by 2x, then 3 by 2x plus L represents a straight line passing through 3 by 2x and parallel to L. Similarly, if we take a point 2x and we see that the 2x plus L is a straight line passing through 2x and parallel to L. Similarly, if we can go and if we take a point 3x and we see that 3x plus L is a straight line passing through 3x and parallel to capital L. Now, let us take an example, that is obtain the quotient space C01 by L, where C01 is the linear space of all real valued continuous functions over the closed interval 0,1, and capital L consists of these members f belongs to C01 with f1 is equal to 0. Now, solution is that if f comma g belongs to capital L, then f1 equal to 0 is equal to g1. Now, f plus g1 is equal to f1 plus g1, which is again equal to 0. So, f plus g belongs to capital L, because L is assumed that L consists of those all members such that f belongs to C01 with f1 equal to 0, and hence f plus g belongs to capital L. Similarly, for any real scalar alpha, alpha f of 1 is equal to alpha f1, as f1 equal to 0. So, alpha f to 0. So, it is a subspace of C01. Let us look at members of C01 by L. Take f belongs to C01 where f1 is equal to a, say. Then for any other members g belongs to C01, taking the value a at t equal to 1, that is g1 is equal to a. We note that g minus f belongs to C01 such that g minus f1 is equal to g1 minus f1. As g1 equal to a and f1 is equal to a, so we see that g minus f of 1 is equal to 0, showing that g minus f belongs to capital L, that is g belongs to f plus L. So, g belongs to f plus L. Now, if h belongs to C01 with h does not belongs to f plus L, we have h minus f does not belongs to capital L, that is h and f differ at t equal to 1, that is h1 not equal to f1 is equal to a. We similarly construct a member h plus L of C01 by L, where h plus L intersection f plus L is equal to phi, or else we find a member phi in both, implying that phi minus h belongs to capital L and phi minus f belongs to capital L. So, phi 1 minus h1 equal to 0 and phi 1 minus f1 equal to 0, implying that phi 1 equal to h1 and phi 1 equal to f1, that is h1 equal to f1, that means h belongs to f plus L, which contradicts to the fact that h does not belongs to f plus L. Let capital L be a closed linear subspace of a norm linear space X, and let x plus L within the norm is equal to infimum of x plus y within the norm, where y belongs to capital L for all x belongs to capital X. Then 1 is a norm function on the quotient space X by L. Further, if X is a Banach space, then X by L will be so. So, we shall prove that X by L is a norm linear space. We have norm of x plus L is always greater or equals to 0, because norm of x plus L is defined as infimum of norm of x plus y, where y belongs to L. As norm of x plus y is always greater or equals to 0, so infimum is always greater or equals to 0 for any x belongs to capital X. Now, assume that norm of x plus L equal to 0 for some x belongs to capital X, that is infimum of all such norm x plus y where y belongs to L is equal to 0. As y belongs to capital L, minus y is again belongs to L, as L is a subspace. So, we have infimum of norm of x minus y where y belongs to capital L equal to 0, implies x belongs to L bar. Since capital L is closed and L is equal to L bar, so x belongs to capital L, and hence x plus L is equal to L, which is the 0 element of x by L. So, the first norm axiom is satisfied. Take alpha be any non-zero scalar, then norm of alpha into x plus L is equal to norm of alpha x plus L. As per the definition of norm in x by L, we see that norm of alpha x plus L is equal to infimum of all such elements of alpha x plus y within the norm where y belongs to capital L, and which is again equals to infimum of norm of alpha into x plus y by alpha where y belongs to capital L, which is again equals to modulus of alpha infimum of all such elements norm x plus y by alpha where y belongs to capital L is equal to modulus of alpha into norm of x plus L, as y by alpha belongs to capital L and L is a linear subspace of X. So, the second norm axiom is satisfied. Now, for the proof of third norm axiom, let us take x comma y belongs to capital L. Then norm of x plus L plus y plus L is equal to norm of x plus y plus L, which is on by definition is equal to infimum of all such elements within the norm x plus y plus u where u belongs to capital L, which is again less or equals to, and by mutual adjustment we get infimum of all such elements norm of x plus u by 2 plus norm of y plus u by 2, u belongs to capital L, which is again less or equals to infimum of all such elements norm of x plus u by 2 where u belongs to capital L plus infimum of all such elements norm y plus u by 2 where u belongs to capital L, which is again equals to norm of x plus L plus y plus L, as L is a subspace. So, norm axiom, that is third norm axiom, is satisfied, and hence x by L is a nonlinear space. Up to this we have been acquainted with the factor space or quotient space. Also we have learned some algebraic operations on the quotient spaces. Also we have shown that a factor space is a nonlinear space. Now we shall show that the quotient space will be a Banach space, that means it is a complete nonlinear space. We shall now show that the quotient space x by L will be a Banach space. That means we have to prove that x by L is a complete nonlinear space. Already we have proved that x by L is a nonlinear space. Now we shall prove that x by L is complete. That means we have to show that every Cauchy sequences in x by L is convergent to an element of x by L. But we are given that x is a Banach space. That means it is a complete nonlinear space. That means every Cauchy sequence in capital X is convergent to an element of capital X. So, with this we have to show that x by L is a Banach space. So, let us start with a Cauchy sequence. So, we have assumed that sequence xn plus L be a Cauchy sequence in x by L, because xn plus L is an element of x by L. So, corresponding to each positive integer k, we can find an index nk such that norm of xn minus xm plus L less than 1 by 2 to the power k whenever n comma m greater or equals to nk. That means this step comes from norm of xn plus L minus norm of xm plus L is equal to norm of xn minus xm plus L, and that is why we have taken norm of xn minus xm plus L is strictly less than 1 by 2 to the power k whenever n comma m greater or equals to nk. This is equation number 2. Now, we now define by induction a subsequence xnk of xn such that norm of xnk minus xnk plus 1 plus L is strictly less than 1 by 2 to the power k, where k equal to 1, 2 and so on, xn belonging to capital X. Take n1 is equal to capital N1, and suppose n2 comma n3 comma dot dot nk have been so chosen such that n1 is less than n2, which is less than n3, and continued up to which is less than nk, and capital Nj is so chosen that capital Nj less or equals to Nj, where j equal to 1, 2 up to k. Let nk plus 1 is equal to maximum of capital Nk plus 1 comma nk plus 1. This enables one to obtain an increasing sequence nk follows from the earlier equation. Put yk equal to xnk. Then by induction we define a sequence zk in capital X such that zk belongs to yk minus capital L, and norm of zk minus zk plus 1 is strictly less than 1 by 2 to the power k minus 1, where k equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. Choose an element z1 in y1 plus L, that is, choose z1 belongs to y1 plus capital L. Suppose z2 comma z3 comma dot dot zk have been so chosen to satisfy the above condition that has already been stated. Then yk plus L is equal to zk plus L, and by the previous property we see that norm of zk minus yk plus 1 plus L is strictly less than 1 by 2 to the power k. By definition of norm in x by L, we can find zk plus 1 belongs to yk plus 1 plus L such that norm of zk minus zk plus 1 is less or equals to zk minus yk plus 1 plus L plus 1 by 2 to the power k. This follows from the infimum property of the norm in x by L. So, we see that norm of zk minus zk plus 1 less or equals to norm of zk minus yk plus 1 plus L plus 1 by 2 to the power k. As norm of zk minus yk plus L less than 1 by 2 to the power k. So, we see that norm of zk minus zk plus 1 is strictly less than 1 by 2 to the power k minus 1. So, the earlier equation is established. So, the series k equal to 1 to infinity norm of zk minus zk plus 1 is convergent. That means, k equal to 1 to infinity zk minus zk plus 1 is absolutely convergent. As zk belongs to capital X and X is a Banach space, we know that in a Banach space every absolutely convergent series is convergent. So, that is why sigma k equal to 1 to infinity zk minus zk plus 1 is convergent. But sigma k equal to 1 to n norm of zk minus zk plus 1, which on simplification we get z1 minus zn plus 1. If we allow as k tends to infinity, we see that sigma k equal to 1 to infinity norm of zk minus zk plus 1 is equal to z1 minus limit n tends to infinity zn plus 1. As sigma k equal to 1 to infinity norm of zk minus zk plus 1 is convergent, and we see that sequence zk is convergent, and let limit k tends to infinity zk is equal to z belongs to capital X, because X is a Banach space. Since zk belongs to yk plus L and yk belongs to capital X, so yk plus L belongs to capital X by L. Now, norm of z plus L minus yk plus L is equal to z minus yk plus L minus L. So, L minus L is again equal to L, because L is a subspace. So, that is why norm of z plus L minus yk plus L is equal to norm of z minus yk plus L, which on infimum property of the norm in x by L, we see that norm of z minus yk plus L less or equals to norm of z minus zk. As limit k tends to infinity zk is equal to z, so norm of zk minus z tends to 0 as k tends to infinity, and hence norm of z plus L minus yk plus L goes to 0 as k tends to infinity. This implies that limit k tends to infinity yk plus L is equal to z plus L, where z plus L belongs to x by L, because z belongs to capital X, and that is why z plus L is an element of x by L. This shows that given Cauchy sequence xn plus L has a convergent subsequence xnk plus L, because yk is equal to xnk is assumed. Hence, xn plus L is convergent in x by L. Thus, we have started with a Cauchy sequence xn plus L, which is now convergent to an element of x by L, and consequently x by L is a Banach space, that is every Cauchy sequence is convergent to an element of the space x by L. In this module, we have learned factor spaces and some algebraic operations on factor spaces. Also, we have shown that the factor space or quotient space is a nonlinear space. Also, we have proved that x by L, that is the factor space or quotient space, is a Banach space. With this, we now come to an end of module 3 of chapter 4.